Through the train window, the girl suddenly saw a little lamb that had fallen into a deep pit, struggling to get out. At that moment, the train had just pulled over to the side of the track, so she quietly jumped off the train and carried the little lamb to safety. But in those few seconds, the train behind her suddenly pulled away. She ran after it with all her might, but as a mute, she couldn't make a sound. Meanwhile, her mother, fast asleep in the carriage, had no idea her child was gone. The train grew farther and farther away until it finally vanished completely into the darkness. She could only stand there, all alone. Before long, another freight train slowly approached. The girl mistakenly thought this was the train taking her home, so she climbed aboard without hesitation, completely unaware that the train was heading toward a foreign country. When her mother finally woke from her sleep, she discovered her daughter had vanished. She broke down on the spot and frantically pulled the emergency brake, but the conductor coldly informed her that the train had long since crossed the border. To go back and find her child, she would have to reapply for a visa. And just like that, the mother lost any chance of ever finding her daughter again. The girl's name was Maria. When she woke up again on the train, she realized she was in a completely foreign country. The streets were filled with people celebrating a holiday. Suddenly, her eyes locked onto a man named Martin. Martin had just finished celebrating and was looking for a drink to unwind when he suddenly spotted Maria. He raised his glass casually, never expecting Maria to actually walk toward him and then drink the entire contents of the glass in one go. Martin casually asked her name, but Maria was mute and couldn't utter a single word. Martin assumed she was just starving, so he bought her some food and handed it to her. He then turned to leave the scene, but after taking just a few steps, he realized Maria was following closely behind him. With no other choice, Martin took her to the police station. However, the police coldly told him that this wasn't a shelter and that they simply couldn't handle a situation like this. With nowhere else to turn, Martin had no choice but to keep her with him for the time being. He kept asking the girl where she lived, but she just shook her head and remained silent because her home wasn't even in this country. Martin had no choice but to take Maria to his girlfriend Sophia's house.